Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So today in my backdrop you see lots of cows. The cows grazing at Govardhan. Actually today is also day of Gopashtami. So until today, Krishna Balram would take calves for grazing. And with the calves, they could not go deep inside the forest. So you don't take the calves too much inside. And now they were getting older, and they told today or day before today, yesterday, that they told Nand Baba that they are big enough now they can handle the cows. So the idea behind taking the cows for grazing was they could go deep inside the jungle, and where they could play with the cowherd boys, and then Krishna could meet the gopis also, because when they were on the outskirts of the village, he could not meet the gopis. So the whole idea was to meet the gopis. And also Krishna loves his cows, so he wanted to take the cows deep inside the jungle. So when Krishna was taking the cows, and he has 9 lakh cows, that those 9 lakh cows are Nand Baba's cows. Then all the cowherd boys, they also join. They also have their own cows. So lakhs and lakhs of cows, and all kind of colors. One can see in those cows. So Yashoda Maya came to Krishna. But Krishna, now you're gonna go deep inside the jungle with the cows. There'll be thorns and the rocks on the path, and then there'll be sunshine, too much sun, and you're gonna play in the sun, and you're gonna be busy grazing the cow, taking care of the cows. So why don't you put on shoes and take an umbrella with you? Mother is always worried about kids. And Krishna said, Maya, nothing will happen. Like boys, they always, none, don't worry about me, I'm okay. But Krishna, first of all, he was feeling embarrassed in front of his friends. The friends were looking, and Yashoda Maya being Yashoda Maya, she wants to show all her love for Krishna. And she was still treating Krishna as a little boy. And Krishna was getting embarrassed that none of his friends have the umbrella and the shoes, and how come he is going to have the umbrella and the shoes? They'll make fun of me and they'll really tease me. And then Yashoda Maya kept on insisting. Then Krishna said, okay, Maya, I'll take umbrella and shoes, but because I'm a servant of cow. Cows are our masters. You should provide umbrella and shoes for all the cows. So 9 lakh cows means 9 lakh umbrellas. And then there has to be a person holding the umbrella. Cows cannot hold the umbrella. So 9 lakh servants, and then 36 lakh shoes, because cows are Chatushpati, 4 hoofs. So Yashoda Maya said, well, I cannot provide that. So now, then Krishna said, okay, now I'm going to go as I am, because I'm here to serve the cows. And also, there would be rocks on the road, but the cows that were moving in front of Krishna, they would make sure with their hoofs, they would crush all these rocks. And also the rocks on Govardhan or on the way, they also, because they all are conscious and they knew Krishna is coming, and they would become soft like a butter. So they won't hurt Krishna's lotus feet. And all these 900,000 cows and the other cows of other gopas, other Gwalpals, wherever Krishna would go, they would never step on the lotus feet imprints of Krishna. They wanted to keep those imprints as they are on the earth. So they would always make sure they don't step on the lotus feet imprints of Krishna. And then those who went with us to Nandagaon, there was that place called Terkadam, if you remember. So Terkadam is a place when Krishna comes back in the evening, and sometimes he is ahead of the cows. He would get on the kadam tree, and he would play on his flute, and he would be basically calling all the cows to come back home. And the cows would, from his sound of his flute, cows would hear her name. Every cow would hear her name. The Krishna is calling me, and they would come running towards Krishna. And that's a time in the evening when they come back, and that's called Godhuli Vela. Vela means a time. Godhuli means the time when, because of the coming of cows, there is like all Delhi people are very much aware of this smog or pollution, but Godhuli doesn't create pollution; it just creates a wonderful atmosphere, and it means the cows are coming back. So even any village that you go to, Braj or otherwise, this is evening is the time, 4:30, somewhere around 4:30, when the cows come back, and that scene is beautiful when they're coming back, and because of their hooves, the dust is rising in the air, and Krishna would get all dusty, and then he would go home, and then he would milk the cows or milk the cows, then he would go home, and then Yashoda Maya would bathe him, and then he would have his dinner, and then rest of the pastimes. So today is Gopashtami day, so very, very beautiful day, and today is the day when Krishna took charge of the cows. But another pastime happened today. Now we know Barsana and Nandagaon. We went to Barsana and Nandagaon. We also went to a place called Javat, which is Sasural of Radharani. Now that's also not too far from Nandagaon. So when Radharani was at Javat, so after marriage she was in Javat. But from Javat also she would regularly go back and forth between Barsana and Javat. So this time she was in Javat. And her mother-in-law, she had put her charpai right at the gate because she didn't want Radharani to leave home that day. So Radharani was inside with her Sakhis because Lalita, Vishakha, they also got married in that village only because they also wanted to be with Radharani. They could not leave Radharani. They had to be with Radharani. So now Krishna is out there and he wants to meet Radharani, and Radharani is stuck inside the house. Now what to do? And Jatila was sitting right there on the cart at the gate, guarding the gate. So Krishna sent Subal Sakha that you go and do something. So Subal Sakha and Radharani, they're basically of the same height and similar face structure. Of course, Subal is a boy and Radharani is a girl. So Subal Sakha went in, and Jatila got up. He said, "Hey, Lala, where are you going? What are you doing? What do you want? Why you are here? You're the friend of that black boy. So what are you doing? Get out of here. Don't be here." Subal Sakha, "Are Kaki, I'm not here for anything. We were playing and I was grazing my cows, and one of my calves, he came running this side, so I'm just looking for him." Jatila said, "I didn't see any calf coming in here. You get out of here. Don't come here." "Are Kaki, I'll just go look in your Goshala if my calf is there or not. That's all. And then I'll leave. What's the problem?" Okay, go. Just go fast. Do hurry up because I know you're a friend of that black boy and I don't want you to be around here. So Subal Sakha got the entry. So he came inside and he met Radharani and the Sakhis, and then he gave the message to Radharani that Krishna is at this place and waiting for you. You haven't been there yet. It's been too long. Radharani said, What can I do? Jatila is sitting right at the door, at the entrance. I cannot leave. So Lalita and Vishaka, they devised a plan that Subal Sakha, you look just like Radharani. So what we'll do, Radharani will wear the clothes of your clothes, and you just sit here wearing Radharani's lehenga and chundri. Okay. So Radharani that day put on Gopavesh. She put on dhoti and kurta and turban, and then she wanted to leave. But then there was a problem. Jatila was still sitting there at the entrance door, and now the top part, like the breasts, that would show. So what Subal did was he picked up a calf and he asked Radharani just to hold the calf on your in the front part, so Jatila won't notice any difference. So this was devised like that, and then Radharani picked up a calf and then she left. And then going, she said, "See, Kaki, I saw my calf and I'm leaving." Okay, go. And don't come here and tell that black boy not to come here. My Bahu is inside. Yeah, your Bahu is inside. So Subal Sakha sat in their house with Lalita and Vishaka and the gopis, and Radharani left. And then whole day Radharani was with Krishna, and then the evening she came back, and evening was little dark, so Jatila didn't see a whole lot, couldn't see a whole lot, and she came back, and then um, again the same story, the calf, because now the boy is coming, Radharani in the form of a boy was coming back. Arey Kaki, again my calf came inside, I think, no, this time she brought the same calf, and she said, Arey Kaki, I took the wrong calf, I think my other calf was there. Arey, you boys, you all playing all the time around, and this black boy must be guiding you with all these things. So Radharani came inside, and then they exchanged the clothes, and Subal Sakha got out. And so that happened, that pastime happened today. For a few years, when I was dressing Radha Sarthi, so today I would dress Radharani as Gopa with dhoti and kurta, and Krishna obviously, and make a nice patkan turban on Radharani. I don't know if that tradition is still going on in Delhi or not, but and also today was a day when we give the darshan of lotus feet of Radharani to everybody, because she's not wearing lehenga, she's only wearing dhoti. So just like Radhashtami, everybody could get darshan. So Gopashtami day also they could get darshan. I don't know if you all went for darshan today or not, and if the same tradition is there or not. I have no idea. So anyway, coming back to our Bhagavatam. So Canto 3, Chapter 9, Brahma's Prayers for Creative Energy, text number 5. So Brahmaji is praying to Lord Vishnu. Ye tu todye charanambuj kosh gandham jigranti karna vivrah shrutivata Bhaktya grihit charanah paryachatesham napaishi nath hrityam bruhat swapunsam. O my Lord, persons who smell the aroma of your lotus feet, carried by the air of Vedic sound, through the holes of the ears, accept your devotional service. For them you are never separated from the lotus of their hearts. So persons who smell the aroma of your lotus feet, carried by the air of Vedic sound, through the holes of the ears. So there's a different way of smelling the aroma of his lotus feet. Accept your devotion service. For the pure devotees of the Lord, there is nothing beyond the lotus feet of the Lord. And the Lord knows that such devotees do not wish anything more than that. The word too specifically establishes this fact. The Lord also does not wish to be separated from the lotus hearts of his pure devotees. That is a transcendental relationship between the pure devotees and the personality of God. Because the Lord does not wish to separate himself from the hearts of such pure devotees, it is understood that they are specifically dearer than the impersonalists. So impersonalists, those who are nirvikarvadi, nirvisheshvadi, nirakarvadi, they don't even believe in the form of the Lord. What to speak of any relationship with the Lord? And no, and forget about any loving relationship. So that is only possible between the Lord and his devotees, his loving devotees. The relationship of the pure devotees with the Lord develops because of devotional service to the Lord on the authentic basis of Vedic authority. So when they perform these services, so slowly, in the beginning, the service could be out of duty or some other aspect. But slowly, the love develops. Even chanting is a devotion service. And when we do it out of love, we really feel the bliss. We really relish the holy name and bliss of chanting. Just like I saw the message of Shashwati Mataji, she chanted 80 rounds today, or yesterday for you guys, yesterday. And Kashyap Prabhu chants wonderfully, so many rounds, so many hours. It's so wonderful. Such pure devotees are not mundane sentimentalists, but are factually realists because their activities are supported by the Vedic authorities who have given oral reception to the facts mentioned in the Vedic literatures. So they have given oral reception to the facts mentioned. So devotees are not sentimentalists. They do this devotional service based on the knowledge they have received from Vedas. And this is not emotional. This is based on the facts given in the Vedic text. The word parya is very significant. Parabhakti, or spontaneous love of God, is the basis of an intimate relationship with the Lord. This highest stage of relationship with the Lord can be attained simply by hearing about him, his name, form, quality, etc., from authentic sources like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, recited by pure, unalloyed devotees of the Lord. So when the devotees hear about the Lord from authentic sources, they develop natural attraction for the Lord. Just like Brahmaji is here, is praying to the Lord and describing different characteristics of the Lord. So when somebody hears these characteristics, it develops a desire to see the Lord, to be in relationship with him, to be serving him. Just like Rukminiji, when she heard about the glories of Krishna, his beauty and his pastimes from Narad Muni, she developed an intense desire in her heart to marry him. Not just to see him, but to go ahead and marry him. Obviously, Rukmaniji is eternal wife of Dwarkadhish, but she in this pastime she developed that desire because she heard from Narad Muni. Text number 6. Tavad bhayam dravana de suhrin nimittam shokah spriha paribhavo vipulascha lobha tavan mametyat asad avagraha artimulam yavanna te anghrim bhayam pravaranit lokaha. O my Lord, the people of the world are embarrassed by all material anxieties. They are always afraid. They always try to protect wealth, body, and friends. They are filled with lamentation and unlawful desires and paraphernalia. And they avariciously base their undertakings on the perishable conceptions of my and mine. As long as they do not take shelter of your safe lotus feet, they are always full of such anxieties. One may question how can one always think of the Lord in regard to his name, fame, quality, etc., if one is embarrassed by thoughts of family affairs. Everyone in the material world is full of thoughts about how to maintain his family, how to protect his wealth, how to keep pace with the friends and relatives, how to keep pace with Sharmas and Varmas. Thus, he is always in fear and lamentation, trying to keep up with status quo. In answer to this question, this verse is spoken by Brahma is very appropriate. So Brahmaji being the creator or secondary creator, he knows what goes on in the what will go on in the minds of people that he's going to create. In the material world, everybody is afraid of losing whatever he got, whatever wealth he got, whatever relationships he got, whatever paraphernalia he got. He's always afraid that I'll lose it. First, he wants to gather more and more and more, and then he's afraid of losing. And then he's always in competition or always envious of others. He got more than I do. This has been going on since Brahmaji did this creation. There's nothing new. A pure devotee of the Lord never thinks of himself as the proprietor of his house. He surrenders everything unto the supreme control of the Lord. And thus he has no fear for maintaining his family or protecting the interests of his family. That's a different stage. That's a spiritual stage altogether. Because of his surrender, he no longer has any attraction for wealth. Even if there is attraction for wealth, it is not for sense enjoyment, but for the service of the Lord. Like Prabhupada himself. Sannyasis are supposed to deal with money. But Prabhupada set a different example. He would tell his disciples, go get me more money, get me more and more and more and more. But his point was he was using everything in the service of Krishna. Every single penny he was using in service of Krishna. And he would always think of how he can save Krishna's money from being wasted. Just one example is coming to my mind. It's funny example, but how Prabhupada was thinking, that is amazing. So Prabhupada was in India, and he was building Vrindavan, Bombay, and Mayapur. And every temple was at different stage of construction. So he was in Bombay, and this temple president of Vrindavan came to see Prabhupada. And he needed some funds because Prabhupada was through BBT and through his disciples in America. Disciples in America, they were collecting funds and sending to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was allocating funds to Vrindavan and for Mayapur construction at the same time. So this temple president came to Bombay to see Prabhupada, and he wanted some funds for the construction. Prabhupada got this bank draft made, and he gave to the temple president. And when president was about to leave, Prabhupada asked him how, because he knew our temple was being constructed in Ramanveti, where ISKCON temple is right now, and the bank was in Loi Bazaar at that time. Prabhupada asked him, how will you go to Loi Bazaar to deposit this check? And the president said, obviously, I'll take a rickshaw. How much does a rickshaw cost? At that time, it was 50 cents or 50 paisa. Prabhupada asked his secretary, how much would it cost if I mail this check? Secretary said maybe 10 paisa or something like that. I don't know exact figure, but it was something like that. Then Prabhupada took the check back from the president. He said, I will mail it to the bank. It will cost me 10 paisa. And if you go to the bank, it will cost you 50 paisa. So we'll save 40 paisa. So that was Prabhupada's calculations, and he mailed the check to the bank. So this is how Prabhupada was trying to save Krishna's money. A pure devotee may be attracted to accumulating wealth just like an ordinary man, but the difference is that a devotee acquires money for the service of the Lord, whereas the ordinary man acquires money for his sense enjoyment. Thus, the acquisition of wealth by a devotee is not a source of anxieties, as is the case for a worldly man. And because a pure devotee accepts everything in the sense of serving the Lord, the poisonous teeth of accumulation of wealth are extracted. So he is doing everything for the service of the Lord, not for his own sense gratification. If a snake has its poison removed and bites a man, there is no fatal effect. Similarly, wealth accumulated in the cause of the Lord has no poisonous teeth, and the effect is not fatal. A pure devotee is never entangled in material worldly affairs, even though he may remain in the world like an ordinary man. That's a difference. In the material world, every person is worried about so many things: wealth, prosperity, relationships, and how to make more and how to save. A devotee, he can make more money and he can accumulate lots of wealth, but he has no anxiety because he's doing it for Krishna. His anxiety, what if he has any, that will be how to save Krishna's money. But that is spiritual anxiety. That is devotional service. That's not for sense enjoyment, and it will not entangle him. It will, in fact, liberate him. So anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, you just talked about Srila Prabhupada that he saved some money. He asked that his disciple for how much it cost to go by rickshaw and to deposit the check, and then he sent it directly because it cost only 10 paisa. But then,
Mhm.
no offenses to this whole story, but like later on when the fund is deposited, it should somebody will go and then collect it. I don't know how it happens. I mean, somebody has to visit the bank, take out.
Well, that has to be done anyway.
Yeah.
So no, the point was how Prabhupada was trying to save 40 paisa or whatever it was. I don't know the exact number, figure. 50 paisa versus 10 paisa or something like that it was there. But this was Prabhupada's math to calculate. He wanted to
To
save
save some money.
every penny, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, the last paragraph states similarly, wealth accumulated in the cause of the Lord has no poisonous teeth. I'm sure you had told earlier as well that uh, wealth accumulated is good, but should not be by any kind of, I would say, bad ways or
Hmm.
non-favorable ways. That is how it is to be understood, no, Prabhuji.
Yes, yes, that obviously is there. Because then we can leave a bad image. And Prabhupada always said, devotee, how do you know my disciple? He is a perfect gentleman and gentlewoman. So that way we don't want to accumulate wealth in the wrong way.
Thank you, Prabhuji. And on the first one that we read, was text number 5, So
Mhm.
we read about the Vedic sound aroma of the lotus feet coming through the holes of the ears. So
Carried by the air of Vedic sound through the holes of the ears.
aroma of the feet, aroma is smell, na Prabhuji, and
Yeah.
sound is. Can you please help us a little bit more to
But
understand it?
that also means the instructions. For a devotee, everything, the Prabhupada said, nothing beyond the lotus feet of the Lord. There is nothing beyond. So even the instructions of the Lord, because at the lotus feet, all the acharyas or devotees are sitting at the lotus feet of the Lord. So when they speak about the Lord, it's basically can mean that the sound is coming from the lotus feet of the Lord.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
It's a poetic uh, license
Yes.
by Brahmaji.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thanks for explaining it.
Okay, so I guess we can stop here. You all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Jai Shri
Hare
Prabhupada.
Krishna.